Mr. Speaker, sir, I seek leave to introduce my private member's bill. I humbly request you to kindly permit me to give a brief explanatory statement as allowed under Rule 70 Clause 1 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business.
Yes. Now, under Rule 71, Sub-Rule 1 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business, you may like to make a brief explanatory statement on the bill before I put the motion to vote before the House. You may make a brief statement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. In the text prepared by government for the Governor's address at the start of the ongoing budget session 2024, it is mentioned that Meghalaya Gross State Domestic Product or GSDP for the current financial year is projected to be 47,381 crores rupees. In a news item that caught everybody's eye recently, it was reported that the total outstanding liability of the state government at the end of March 2024 budget estimate is 20,030 crores rupees. The report was sourced from the reply to an unstarred question in Parliament made recently by Union Minister of State Finance. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, now it does not require someone to have an advanced background in finance to read the two figures and comprehend that whatever the state of Meghalaya is able to produce in a year in terms of value, there is little to cheer about because the total outstanding liabilities of the state government is as high as about 42% of that GSDP. And that is not a pleasant news in fiscal terms for state finance because it goes against what is laid out in the Meghalaya Fiscal Responsibility. I'm sorry, sir. Now it does not require someone to have an advanced background in finance to read the two figures and comprehend that whatever the state of Meghalaya is able to produce in a year in terms of value, there is little to cheer about because the total outstanding liabilities of the state government is as high as about 42% of that GSDP. And that is not a pleasant news in fiscal terms for state finance because it goes against what is laid out in Meghalaya Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act 2026, which this private member's bill intends to bring an amendment to. Fiscal management objectives have clearly been set in Section 3 of the Meghalaya FRBM Act 2026, and fiscal targets have unambiguously been laid out in Section 4(1) of the said Act. However, a major loopholes exist in this statute because Section 4 of Section 1 is not mandatorily binding on government. The simple reason being that the word used in statutory clause is may instead of shall. The word may interprets as may or may not, whereas the word shall is definite. Because of this one single loopholes in the Meghalaya FRBM Act, we see that successive governments have been at liberty not to reduce the fiscal deficit to 3% of GSDP, and ever-increasing government borrowing are burdening the total outstanding liabilities on the consolidated fund of the state much above 28% of GSDP. So the private members' bill that I seek leave to introduce today intend to fulfill the following purpose. Number one, to effectively plug illegal loopholes in the Meghalaya FRBM Act so as to make the role of government definite. Number two, to ensure that fiscal targets relating to fiscal deficit and total outstanding liabilities as laid out in the Meghalaya FRBM Act are mandatorily carried out by government. Number three, to amend the Meghalaya Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act 2006. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, trying to fully grasp state finances is not an easy task, and speaking about technicalities is even harder, leave alone introducing an amendment bill to the State FRBM Act. However, the challenges, I do seek leave to introduce my private member's bill, namely the Meghalaya Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Amendment Bill 2024, copies of which I understand have been circulated to member in advance. So with these very few words, I'll resume my seat. Thank you once again.
Thank you, honorable members. Now let me put the question before the House. The question is that leave be granted to deduce the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Amendment Bill 2024. Those who are in favor, say aye. Those who are against, say no. The noes have it. The noes have it. The motion is not carried, and the leave to introduce the bill is not granted. The bill is therefore rejected by the House.